folks. It looks like it's time for the show, shall we? Let's get this started.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world-famous Rich Wilson Show.
Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the world-famous Rich Wilson Show. I am Rich Wilson, and you're not. Which, in some situations, that's a good thing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It is Thursday. For those of you that are loyal fans, some of you may noticed, some of you haven't, the programming changes that has happened to the show. Due to a lot of things, real life issues, stuff like that, we will not be doing shows on Friday any longer. It's going to be Monday through Thursday now. Okay, so let me make sure that I put something out here in case people wanted to flock to this to find out what I had to say about it. I am not. I'm not doing a full news story on Russia and Ukraine. I'm not doing it. Why? You can literally turn on anything and watch it. You can go through Facebook and see people on it, at YouTube and Twitter. It's everywhere. Okay. The Russians invaded Ukraine. They're marching towards Kiev. People are dying. Okay? Both sides. It's a war. Wars suck. I don't like talking about wars. Okay? I really don't. If I have to, I will. But I really don't like talking about it. And why don't I like talking about it? Robert E. Lee said it best when he said, let us pray that war remains so horrible that we never grow fond of it. Now, I know that I just triggered a crap load of people that are, oh my God, you said Robert E. Lee. Yeah, well, yeah, I did. The man did say did have some intelligent things to say, regardless if you agree with the side he was on. But, like I said, I love to quote, let us pray that war is so horrible that we never grow fond of it. And I in fact, all I do is I'll turn on the news long enough to see if there's been any update, and then I turn it right off. You'd think people, somebody mentioned to me and asked me about my show tonight and said if I was going to talk about it. And I said no. And they said, well, you're a veteran. Would you give us some insight on the war? No. It's because my insight is not going to help you understand it. Understand that, and this is all I really want to discuss about it, okay? Ukraine used to be a part of the Soviet Union. Back in 2007, Putin made it very clear. It's 2007 or 2004. Made it very clear about trying to bring all of the lost regions of the Soviet Union back together to rebuild the Soviet Union. Now, the only thing I will tell you that's complete and total bullcrap is the story about how, because Ukraine was trying to get into NATO, which, if you follow history, is a load of crap, and if you believe it, I apologize for you. Because originally when Putin tried to take Ukraine the last time, Ukraine wasn't even trying to get into NATO, wasn't even discussing NATO, and he still did it anyway. So NATO is it's a false flag. It's a fake reason for him wanting to go in there. He just wanted to go in there and retake it. Period. And he's in the process. I will say, pray for the Ukrainian military. They're trying, but they are fighting a much superior force. But they are putting up one hell of a fight, and unfortunately, a lot of them are going to die in the process. Unless, for some unknown reason, Putin decides to withdraw, a lot of Ukrainian soldiers are going to die. They are fighting a much superior fighting force, period. And no, don't think that I'm over here like, and don't misconstrue my words like Trump, like everybody else misconstrued Trump's words, where Trump had talked about Putin and saying that Putin is a smart individual. Putin is a very intelligent human being, folks. We're not dealing with Joe Biden of Russia. We're dealing with a very intelligent human being. And that's what Trump had said. the moves that Putin had been making and way he was going about this and did this, the way that he did it was a very intelligent move, and I can't disagree with that. I can't agree with the fact that he's doing it. And Trump said the same thing. It's not that he agrees with what Vladimir Putin is doing, but how he went about it was very intelligent. He is a very intelligent human being, and he knows what he's doing. Whether we agree with him or not is beside the point. You and I could completely disagree with it. We don't mean anything in the scheme of those things. Why? Because we're not the ones controlling the Russian military. Okay, we're not in charge of the United States of America. We can give our opinions. But what I'm really getting sick and tired of it is the media mischaracterizing what a lot of people are saying about it. It's bad enough that Biden has screwed this entire thing up. But like today, he gave a speech about update on what they were doing. Press went after him and said, if this is such a dire situation, why are you not imposing the new sanctions that you're talking about right now? He refused to answer the question. Why? Because he doesn't really intend to. He doesn't want to. Okay. Which tells me that we have a problem with our country having our leadership having a spine. I tried to warn everybody, and you guys said that a lot. Not you guys, but a lot of people just sat there and said that I was some lunatic conservative that was a white supremacist bowing to the feet of Trump, and it wasn't. I grew up in Delaware. I can tell you what Biden was like as a senator. I knew it wasn't going to be any different. I make the joke with you, but it's legitimate. When Barack Obama was elected as president, there was 2 celebrations that happened in the state of Delaware. Okay, 2. Up in the north end, the Wilmington, Smyrna, Dover, Christiana, and those types, they're all liberals. Okay, half of those people don't even work in the state of Delaware; they work in Philadelphia, okay, or Baltimore. Okay, so their income they don't work in the state of Delaware and you know and pay income taxes because Delaware has no sales tax. They work in other states, okay, in Maryland or Pennsylvania, okay, and they're the elites. A lot of them are the elites. The further north you go in Delaware, the bigger the money gets, and they celebrated because Biden became vice president, and they're all liberals. The southern half, the middle to the southern half of the state all partied because we finally, after all those years, got rid of Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't do anything for the state of Delaware. He didn't. In all those years, did nothing. And a lot of people from Delaware tried to warn the country, saying, this ain't a great idea. At least the central to the southern half of the state. But understand the majority of the population of the state of Delaware lives in the north. So, go figure. So this is just another, Kent County and Sussex County Delawareans are all sitting there going, yeah, it's fucking Joe Biden. It's no different. The only difference between Joe Biden then and Joe Biden now is once he was a senator, now he's the president. It's the only difference. So, everything that the man has said, and the press is now, both sides of the fence are now trying to push him, going, well, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? When are you going to do this? Who knows? But that's not what I came here to talk to you about tonight. What I came here to talk to you about is, did you know that if you take 15 minutes or less with Geico... No, I did not even come here to talk to you about that. Okay. I can't do that. They're a company, and in order for me to talk about them, I'd have to be sponsored by them. I'd have to have authorization. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I can't even... And that's the bad part. I realized today that when I was looking through some of those... some of the things that you got to read about your policies and stuff like that. You know that even if I have a friend that has a business, I'm not allowed to actually promote his business for free on my channel without an authorization. I have to actually have a letter giving authorization to promote my own, like a friend's business. in case they turn around and get me for it, and then I have to be able to submit a letter and an email to the social media company saying that no, they're a legitimate company and I'm sponsored by them. I found that as an interesting, because as I go on, I try to read more and more of the 5,000 document, things that you need to understand when you're on there, when you're streaming. And, it's kind of unfortunate. It's like, I'm surprised I haven't gotten hit for that sitting up there. But I don't care. By far, one of my favorite episodes of National Geographic is The Untold Stories of D-Day. Great. It's great. It's a great issue. It really is. I think the second one is the, Afghanistan. The Afghanistan issue, where they talk about that. Great coverage. It was amazing. The photographs were unreal. But anyway, so let's get into the stories for the night, shall we? Since I've gotten done on that little emo rant, I guess you could call that. So anyway, tonight we're going to talk about Moderna. We're going to talk about John Kerry, and we're going to talk about something involving anal. Now, understand that it's not going to get sexual in nature. I mean, we are talking about Moderna, Kerry, and anal, and they all kind of, I guess you could say they all kind of link together in a way. But being it as it may, first of all, let's talk about let's get the anal part out of the way in the beginning, even though it's usually at the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to peruse your eyes there on the first ever FDA authorized condoms for anal sex. The one male condom can be also used for others items as well, but it is the first to be tested and developed specifically for anal sex. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get content flagged for this one. The Food and Drug Administration has authorized the first condom designed specifically for it. The one male condom as being marketed can be used for vaginal, but it is hoped this authorization will improve the condom for use of anal sex, which carries a higher risk of spreading certain sexually transmitted diseases like HIV. The failure rate of the condoms, defined as the condom slipping off or breaking during sex, was found to be 0.68% during anal and 1.92% during vaginal. Why? Why does it have a higher failure rate in one side versus the other? I'm wondering, is it because doing in the back door, is there because usually a lot more lubricant is used? I was trying to figure out why is the failure rate so low. What? Oh yeah, there it is. Why is the failure? Sorry for that noise, Dave. Stop with the warning symbols. I mean, if the government's going to shut us down, we're not going to get a warning. We're just it's over. It just makes me wonder, why is the failure rate that much? And it doesn't sound like a lot. 0.68% versus 1.92%. That's actually pretty high. So it makes me wonder what's the difference? Because in one side, if you're doing what you need to be doing, then there shouldn't be a lot of reason for failure unless, well, I guess the other way, you're being a lot more careful if it's not something you don't regularly do. I don't know. Condoms and similar barrier methods have long been recommended for all forms of intercourse to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections. Okay, so there you go. So now the FDA is finally approved one of these for the back door. So, hey, use it. I'm going to tell you right now, I will be the first person to always, promote safe sex. Always. Because if you're not at the level of being responsible enough to being a parent, and you're not 100% certain if you or the other person are completely on the clean, but you got to do it, by all means, put a barrier in there, okay? I'm all about it, and I will promote it always. I will never tell people not to. We got enough problems in this world, and we got enough people that are pumping out units that have no business pumping out units in this world. So, it just... So it's cool. The FDA's finally approved one for that. I did not know that there was companies out there trying to make that a thing. But hey, good to know. All right, let's go to the next story of the night. The next story of the night comes to us from our people at Moderna. Now, couldn't find a graphic that I could use for this, so I do apologize for not having one. However, Moderna is one of the two companies that made the vaccine. Okay. Ready for this shocker. Moderna beats earning estimates. The stock is up. Moderna beat earning estimates Thursday and announced over a $3 billion share buyback. Moderna Thursday reported revenues for the fourth quarter of 2021 at $7.2 billion, beating the FactSet consensus estimate of $6.8 billion. And the diluted earnings of $11.29 per share, beating the FactSet consensus estimate of $9.96. So Moderna in the last 2 years, with Fauci sitting there telling everybody, and CDC telling everybody, who are all invested in both Pfizer and Moderna. They are. This is not me faking this. It's all backed up. It's all a matter of public record. These companies, Moderna, just unbelievably made a huge amount of money. Yes. Absolutely. No shit. Moderna made a crap load of money. Pfizer's made a crap load of money. And it should not be a shocker. If there's anybody going, oh my God, I didn't think that was true. And people are like, well, how are they making money? It's supposed to be free. Well, the government's paying them, which means you're paying for it. You're paying for it, not the government, because it's tax money that pays for it. Is paying these companies. It's not free. It may be free for you to get the vaccine at first, but understand something. Your taxes are still paying for it, so that it's not free. That's a lie. It's just like right now, everybody's sitting there going, oh, well, we got all that free money back in, during COVID and free. No, it's not free, folks. Inflation. That's how you pay for it. There was more money put into the market than there was goods and services, which the amount of money they pumped into the market caused hyperinflation. You're seeing hyperinflation. I tell you, another problem you have right now is people saying, well, there's no jobs. Horseshit, there's jobs. It's just the job market hasn't caught up to the cost of living because of inflation. So jobs before the pandemic, where you were getting paid $12 an hour, are still at $12 an hour. Cost of living is higher than that. So it's not that there's no jobs. It's just the jobs don't pay enough because the job market hasn't caught up. The job market will eventually catch up. And the reason why it will, and everybody's like, oh, we got to go after the billionaires, or we got to go after the rich people. Just shut up. Eventually, the job market will, because a lot of companies, if they want to keep going, are going to need employees. And employees aren't taking the jobs because now they need more money in order to live. Well, when a company start running short to a point that they have no choice, that they want to keep running, they have to hire more people. And in order to do that, they're going to have to raise their wages. Then they will. And that will start to happen. Okay. You just understand that inflation moves at a much faster rate than the rest of the market. Okay. And it all based on the amount of money that's dumped into the market. So it will all catch itself back up. And you'll get a market correction that will catch itself up. But you've got to give it a little bit of time. Some of you may end up having to get 2-3 jobs. I've done it. I've worked 3 jobs before to make ends meet. It's just a thing. People are like, well, people shouldn't have to. Horse shit. I'm sorry, but when you say nobody should have to work 3 jobs, no, I think everybody at some point in their life should work 3 jobs. I think at some point in your life, you should have to go a couple weeks where you're getting 2-3 hours of sleep, and then you're just run down, damn tired, because I think it gives you a level of appreciation for what you have. So when crap hits the fan, and you're running low, you have a much larger appreciation of where you don't want to be, and maybe you'll start saving up money, and maybe you'll start putting money away. And you'll start taking that money and developing it into more money. So then that way you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's just my opinion. You could yell at me for this. But I think, like I said, everybody at some point, you should have to work 3 jobs. Just do it. Go get you 2 part-time jobs on top of your full-time job. Or just get you 3 part-time jobs. And get yourself 2-3 hours of sleep a night. Run yourself into the absolute ground. And like I said, I think it gives you a little bit of an insight of appreciation of how bad it really can get. Some people are like, you shouldn't have to work 2 jobs. And you know what? In all actuality, you're right. Nobody should ever have to do that. But unfortunately, there are people out there that do. And it's kind of like I think everybody should do a stint in the military. You know, because it gives you an appreciation for what you have in this country. When you go to a third world country that doesn't have the same rights, even though y'all like to put on Facebook about how I stand with the Palestinians. When you have to go to countries that prohibit people from having rights, and you get to see that firsthand instead of just sitting behind a computer terminal, I think at that point it gives you much more of an appreciation, and you won't pop stupid crap up like that. You know, and of course, I'm not talking about my primary viewers that I have on this show, because my primary viewers are very intelligent people, and they know better than to do stupid crap like that. I'm talking about the woke armies out there. We hate it. We stand for the Palestinians because Israeli genocide. Really? You have no idea. You don't even know what you're talking about. Well, this website told me. That website is founded by people that are telling you what they want you to hear. Period. Okay. And I think there needs to be some suffrage by everyone at some point to have a greater understanding of the things that are available to you. And I think at that point, I think life would get a whole lot simpler. People wouldn't be sweating the minor stuff, and they wouldn't be paying attention to what people are telling them they should dislike and what they should hate, and not have fake hate, and not have to worry about woke armies, because when woke armies start marching across the lines, they could just turn around and say, go to hell. I got other crap I got to worry about. I got a life to live. And you know, when people start focusing on themselves and start focusing on the lives that they have and trying to find a way to make it work so they can enjoy what they have, then that shit goes away. Then nobody has to worry about it. You don't have to fight for equal rights. Why? Because everybody's fighting for the same thing. Just a little piece of happiness in this short run we have. That's the problem. Some of these people, I just wonder, where do they find happiness? I live my life, and there's times that I struggle. And the reason why I appreciate the struggles that I do have is because it makes me appreciate and look forward to those moments of happiness that I have. Okay? When I have 5 minutes of going, damn, that was awesome. Like today, I had this. Why? I had a bunch of projects I needed to get done today. And I got done most of them. And I could sit back and put a smile on my face and say, I accomplished stuff today. I got things done. Now, there's been days where I didn't have enough time to get these things done. And you know what? I rode myself for not working hard enough. And I think everybody should do that. I think that people should understand and cherish the actual struggles that they have to go through, because it makes the enjoyment of your life so much better. You don't have to think, you don't have to feel that you're guilty for having a moment of enjoyment. That's one of the other problems. Oh, well, you enjoyed that. You're guilty of something. Horse shit. It's called life. You're guilty of life. You know, I really do. I enjoy the moments I have. I live my life to the fullest, regardless of what happens. I got canceled out of something a long time ago. Well, it wasn't so long ago. And I was salty about it, and it was horrible. But you know what? I gave up on it because I realized I wasn't enjoying what I had, and I was letting it consume things. But then I started to sit back and look at the struggles that I went through, and where am I at now, and why am I content, and why am I happy? And it made me enjoy that realization so much more. And I think that would help you out too. I think if you took the moment, and nobody's you're not gonna sit there and go, "I'm glad I struggled." You're not, and when you go through the struggle, you're irritated, you're miserable, and everything else. But when you're having that moment of happiness, when you know that your struggle meant something, you could sit back and look back and cherish the struggle that you had because it made it enjoyable. I'm not saying that you still need to go into work and you hate it and still singing zippity doo dah until your head explodes. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is when you get to that moment, when you get to that, I can enjoy a few moments. Your mind can also appreciate the struggle you just had to go through in order to get to that moment. You can. It's called taking it all in. A lot of wrestlers use it when they're at big events. When you go to WrestleMania, they say take a moment to take it all in. Why? Because your entire career up to that moment, you have struggled. You have lived in cars. You have eaten trash food at a bingo hall one night. Got paid $10, to destroy your body, and you spent years and years on your road, missing family and birthdays and kids' graduations to finally make it to that moment. And in that moment, when you start to take it all in and where you're at, you appreciate the struggle that you went through in your life. You understand the struggle that you went through to get to that moment. And that's what is missing in this world, is people understanding life sucks and life is hard, but it doesn't have to all the time. It's going to be hard. But then there'll be moments where it's not. And I don't even know why I went down this road in this conversation. I just felt like it's something that I needed to say. With everything that's going on, I felt like it's something I needed to say because I see people screaming and yelling at each other and ranting and raving and fake hatred and woke armies and people protesting and all this. And I realize, and the complaints I hear about how, well, this sucks and this is hard and this is not easy. And I'm like, but isn't that the point? Isn't it supposed to be hard? So then that way we enjoy it even more? I mean, every time something's ever come easy, it wasn't that great of an enjoyment. There was that little bit of, hey, but then it's like, well, that wasn't really challenging. But when you have to work your ever-living ass off to get there, and you enjoy it ever so much more, tell me you don't. I don't know. I don't know why I went down this rant. Like I said, for some reason, it felt like something I needed to say. It's like me getting. It's basically like, it's like me getting personal with you. I'm just like, it's a part of me. Anyway, all right, so let's get on with the next story here, ladies and gentlemen. So, how many people actually remember John Kerry at this point? That guy, that guy looks dead, doesn't he? I mean, you look at that man, and he just looks dead. It's John Kerry. Flying all over the world in private jets, telling everybody about how we're ruining the environment. Oh, that's a fucking hypocrite if I ever saw one. And he's a hypocrite. The man's got like several houses and big SUVs. And I mean, he's married into the Heinz ketchup family. Okay. So, I mean, he can afford it. But he's telling every one of us we need to buy shit electric cars and and stop using Aquanet, in our hair. Well, that's actually a good suggestion. Aquanet probably did more damage to the ozone layer than China's entire history. I mean, the 80s hair bands, it was a thing. But anyway, John Kerry decided today was the best day in the world to make a comment that was just insanely dumb. So let me tell you about this. Let me read this for you. John Kerry, the climate czar for the Biden administration, said that he fears Russia's invasion into Ukraine will distract from the left's war on climate change. As death and destruction are carried out by the Russian soldiers, Kerry is more concerned about massive emissions from the war that will negatively impact the globe. You have a war, and you're going to have massive emissions. Consequences to the war, Kerry continued. But equally important, you're going to lose people's focus. You're going to lose certainly big country attention because there will be diverted, and I think that will have a damaging impact on the climate. So I see now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. It's it. The war's over. Sorry, the war. You gotta stop. Sergey, put the gun down. Benedev, put down the rocket launcher. Hear me out. The war's over, folks. We can't have the war. In fact, let me correct this real fast. Okay, no war. We can't do the war. The reason why we can't do the war, folks, is because if for some reason, with us using our tanks, there's a possibility that we may, in 100 years, raise the temperature of the Earth by 0.000000000000000000000000001 degree. So no more wars. I'm sorry, Sergey. Tell your wife I'll be there. She makes an excellent sausages. I'll stop by for that. But the war is over, folks. Look, Medev, I know you're upset. You wanted to shoot the rocket launcher. We can't have that. The rocket in the rocket launcher puts off CO2. And John Kerry needs that CO2 to be able to fly around and tell people. So no war. The war is over. Sorry, folks. Go home. Look, I know you came a long way. You guys got dressed up. You put the camo on. It's fine. It's a dress rehearsal. Let's just say that. It's a dress rehearsal. All right. So everybody, the war is over. The war is over. Okay. So there you go. John. There you go, Mr. Kerry. We've ended the war. The war's over because, people dying is not as important as 1/1000th of a degree because a tank moved 200 miles across the battlefield, and people dying is less important. Okay, so it's tragedy, but it doesn't matter. So there you go. So the war's over. War's over, folks. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. We're more concerned about. These are the people that are running this country, folks. These are the idiots. We have a dictator. I'm sorry, a president of a communist country that is trying to eradicate the freedoms of another country. And we're more concerned. Oh, he went on in that article about, Putin should be concerned about the damage he's doing to the environment because as it's melting the solar or the Arctic ice caps, it's causing water to rise, which is taking away more of his land and hurting his resource gathering capabilities. He didn't say squat about what it does, about how it affected the Ukrainians. Why? Because John Kerry doesn't give a damn about the Ukrainians. We saw that during the Obama administration when he was secretary. At one point when he was Secretary of State, he didn't give a shit. Okay, when he was running for president, he didn't care. So why should he care now? He actually stated he was more concerned about what it does to Putin than it does to in Russia than it does to anybody else. That's where he was concerned. That should be alarming. That he was actually concerned. If you go back and look, what was it? It was in I think I got that story from Analyzing America or something like that. I get notifications all day long when news stories break from these people. But yeah, he literally goes in that article and talks about, what it does to Russia and how Russia should be concerned about what it's going to do to them. And it's like, it was your angle trying to convince the Russians not to go to war? Because here's the problem. Threatening to take away their money didn't deter them. So my God, global warming might. In the words of Greta Thunberg, how dare you? How dare you? I wish I had that soundbite. Well, instead we'll do the Greta Thunberg eyes. How dare you? So evidently that was the angle. Oh my God. We talked about John Kerry, our savior. He came up with the angle. We take all the money away from Russia and we take all the materials that, and trade. And instead we're going to tell him he's going to destroy the earth. That'll be the angle. These are the people running this country, folks. These are the people that are running this joint. By the way, folks, if you're watching and you want to comment anything, by all means, if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, over on Facebook, and any of the other sites that we're streaming on, feel free in the chat room to weigh in. Believe it or not, that's the news that I have for tonight. It really is. The reason being is the news is literally wall-to-wall Ukraine. And I had to dig for stories that wasn't Ukraine. Why in the world did I just get... I got an update from a different social media platform that I didn't even know I was using it. But like I said, it's... everything is wall-to-wall Ukraine. All of it. All wall-to-wall Ukraine. And so to find stuff that wasn't about Ukraine today was a pain in the butt. I found stupid local stories like Pinellas County in Florida started an initiative today where they're going after abandoned boats because they're a danger to everybody in Tampa Bay. And I will actually no. That was about it. There wasn't much else today. So you know what we're gonna do? We still got 20 minutes worth of show left to do, right? We still got 20 minutes left of show to do. So you know what? We're gonna do react to car crashes. Why? Because this is the crap that we used to do in the academy when I was becoming a police officer. Is we would rush through a bunch of stuff or we would go through a bunch of stuff. And then we would watch car accidents. And we actually used it as a tool to be able to do, like, investigative, why did this crash happen? And I don't have any booze with me, or I could reenact what me and Raj used to do on the Raj and Rich show when we would watch these and we would take shots for certain types of wrecks. But I can't do that. So because of all the medication I'm on right now, I can't even really drink alcohol. So what the hell? Why not? Let me make sure I give credit to the websites that are to the channels that are using that I'm going to be using these on. So this comes from the Dashcam Academy. And let's check this out.
85. 84. Oh, they're turned. They have a turn signal on.
They didn't.
Oh.
I honked.
They put it on.
Yes.
All right, so here we go, going through the light.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Holy
That's why you don't do that shit. When you're gonna turn at an
Congress.
if you're gonna turn at an intersection, and both sides got green, don't just shoot out the damn intersection. That's where half them damn wrecks happen. Who do you think was at fault? The one that was turning to the left was at fault because failure to yield the right-of-way to oncoming traffic. So congratulations, not only is your car fucked up, but you got a ticket too. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so this one's kind of obvious. You, of course, got an entire lane of oncoming traffic. They've got the green light, and this moron decided red lights. They're optional. Boom. T-bone. That is a, well, it's a Ford, so of course, instantly it was totaled. Folks, that's why you don't fuck around trucks. Right there. That's why you don't fuck around with trucks. He clipped the front of the corner of that semi-truck, and guess what? You lose. Jersey barriers will move if you hit them hard enough. Trust me. All right, so here we are at an intersection. Got a stop sign. All right, evidently this takes a little bit. He's fast-forwarded. Car's going to go. Dumbass. Red car's at fault. Failure to yield the right-of-way.
God.
Oh, I think I've seen this one. Yep, I've seen this one before. Oh, that was loud. Guess who's at fault? Want to guess? The tractor trailer's at fault. That's a four-way stop sign. I can turn the volume down on this. Oh, that happens. Being in Nevada, I can tell you that happens way more than you think it does. What that is a moron couldn't. One of two things happens. Most of the time, you'll see it at night. It's somebody's falling asleep behind the wheel. But most of the time during the day when you see that, it's people driving windy roads and foothills and mountains while texting, and they just wander right over the lines. In fact, every time they redo the roads, the state of Nevada for certain digs the rumple strips in the middle deeper and deeper and wider every time to make you notice when you touch them. Because some of these two-lane roads, you can't put Jersey barriers up because emergency vehicles need the ability to be able to use both lanes. What's even worse about it is I don't think they made contact. So, unfortunately, that guy probably didn't even know that he ran a car off the road. That guy got lucky. That accident could have been way worse on a motorcycle. It could have killed him. All right, so here we are. Green lights. And that's another that distracted while driving. Wandered into the turn lane, head on. All right, so we got, looks like an on-ramp's coming. He's checking his mirrors. Both the motorcycle and the car weren't paying attention. Both of them. All right, that was, he was lucky enough that he could escape without impacting, but you saw it there. He overran the stop traffic. He's paying attention to the on-ramp. See him look over this way, looks over that way. He could now get in that other lane. Traffic's come to a stop. That guy's not paying attention, and he overshoots the stopped cars because he's paying more attention to the car that just merged onto it instead of what's ahead of him. He's lucky. All right, we put a window down or put our window up. Oh, look, look, here we go. Exhibition of speed. And we're going to run a light. And you did it in front of a cop. Oh, those are great. Oh, those are amazing. There's only one word that fits for that, and it's called dumbass. Well, they had the right of way in the SUV, and that guy decided, fuck it, red lights are optional. So that's what that was all about. Yeah, don't run over the lady and make this situation even worse. She's going over to make sure people are okay. She's probably a nurse or a nursing assistant, or she might be a paramedic or something. Oh, we got one that got away from him. That's somebody's done put their foot on the throttle in reverse and hasn't let go, or you got a stuck throttle. Oh, this is the one where they end up in the bank parking lot on top of a car. I'll tell you how often I watch this shit. I don't know if they give you the reason behind it, because this actually does. I saw it before on another one. They actually give you what happened. The person was in the parking lot of another location. Let me take it back to the beginning of this. Okay. So, once again, there's that lady going up. If you can and you know first aid, please always try to render aid. You're going to see it right there. Car just shoots out backwards. This was an older lady that was driving this vehicle, put it in reverse, went to back up, and thought she was hitting the brakes, and hit the throttle, and never let off the throttle. Never lifted. Luckily enough, she didn't kill anybody. Especially since that's a CTS. Those things have a lot of power. All right. Sitting over by, looks like Joe's Chicken Shack over here. Boom! You just hit a city truck. Congratulations. This is going to cost you. It's bad enough you just tore up your Mercedes. All right, we got the tow truck there. He's riding down the road, got the lights on. Now he's coming over. Hey, Chief, you got somebody... Okay, folks, real quick as an advisement from a former officer here. Just because you have your blinker on doesn't give you the right to merge. Doesn't matter how long it goes. Nothing tells me as a driver, there is no law that when somebody has a blinker on says, I have to slow down and let you in. I don't have to. It's a courtesy. Okay? But that doesn't mean after a while you get pissed off. Screw it. I'm just going to come over, and if I hit you, I hit you. Well, it's your fault. Period. You can tell the cop all day long, I had my blinker on. And the cop's going to like, well, were you clear? No. Then why'd you hit him? You can't merge until you're clear. And for some reason, there's some tow truck. I've run into tow trucks before out there where they'll just merge. They got their bar lights on and they think, oh, that means I can put it over here. No, you're still required by the laws of the road. Just because you have a light bar doesn't give you the right to be law enforcement, and people have to get the hell out of your way. Watch your mirrors. If there's a car there, don't come over. It would have been his fault. Of course, now this guy, he's got to speed up, and he's got to give him a piece of his mind. He's going to pull up. You motherfucker. That's what happened. Translated it for you. All right, we got people merging. And
Oh my goodness.
I mean, the fault is obvious there. I shouldn't have to tell you who was at fault on that one. Another person merging, turned the blinkers on. Oh, I thought I was good. No, you weren't. Boom! Black car's at fault. When you realize, oops, I'm not in the right spot, and you want to merge back into traffic, guess what? You got to wait for it to be clear. Here comes a FedEx guy. All right, he's already broke the law. He pulled out past the line, but that is not the one that we're looking at. Boom! SUV cuts off a flatbed. SUV's at fault, I believe. See, this one sucks. And here's the reason why this one sucks. This is obviously a traffic. I didn't see for a second. It was a traffic light controlled intersection, and the lights are terrible. It could have had if they have a blinking yellow light for being able to turn, because you can't go straight, so they could have a blinking arrow, but it's purely speculation at this point. So I can't see it. Truck's probably got a dash cam on it, but still, if it's a blinking arrow, the SUV's at fault. If it was a red light, then
Damn.
this is what happens when you get stuck in traffic and you look down at your phone to start texting and you don't realize it and your foot starts to come off the brake. No, actually, this fool was just eating. And he took his foot off the brake. All right, this van is pulled out. You already know this one. As much as it is the van's fault, people that do what that guy just did piss me off even more. You saw him pull out. He was way the hell in front of you and obviously hasn't chosen a lane yet. Slow the fuck down. Yes, it may be the van's fault. That doesn't mean you need to wipe the van out and you out. It sucks. Oh, yeah, that guy's way at fault. And he's not stopping either, so guess what? Now he's got a felony. Was a misdemeanor, now it's a felony. Boom! Going too fast in a construction zone. And that's a taxi cab. Don't call that taxi cab company if you're ever there. Wherever that was. Let's see. We got ourselves a horse trailer. Looks like. No, that's not a horse trailer. Oops, I missed my exit. Yeah, you missed your exit a little too late there, Chief. Go to driver's ed. You missed something. Let's see what we got coming up here. All right. I think I've been there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is over in Europe. Somewhere.
No.
Well, either.
Did you go on a holiday or? I've never been on a plane.
Actually, we're in England then. Yeah, that's why when you're over in Europe,
No.
make sure if you got a vehicle, you're renting a vehicle or something like that, get a camera. Them motherfuckers can't drive. They just cannot drive. Oops. Why is it if you pull in front of somebody like that, why do they do that? They'll pull in front of somebody, almost cause an accident. The guys come to a stop, and then they just stop and stare at them. Like, it's your damn fault. Whoa, whoa. Boom. That was at a DUI checkpoint, too. Go over there, you ass. Well, no, it was actually at a construction site. But the bad part was there was already a cop sitting there, so you know your ass is done because you just rear-ended somebody. And you just ass-packed someone. So, sucks to be you. Oops. That shit happens so much. People just not paying attention and sideswiping somebody. And there's no reason for that. There's no excuse for that. The only time that there's ever an excuse, there really isn't, because you need to pay attention to the person in front of you. And if they don't get all the way over, don't hit them. That's just stupid. Oh, great. It went to minimum. Is this the same video? I'm trying to see if this is the same video. All right. Boom. You get it sucks. I've had that happen to me before. You get stopped. You're like, oh shit, because I wasn't paying attention. I get stopped, and then you hear the brake squealing, and you're like, oh, this is gonna hurt. As a piece of advice in those situations, when you start to hear the squealing coming, don't tense up. That's where you get your injuries. All right. You ever wonder why it seems like people who are drunk to get into car wrecks don't get hurt as the people that they hit? Because the people that they hit see it coming and they tense up. But drunk people are drunk and they're relaxed and loose. They're relaxed, and when they hit, they're still relaxed, and the injuries come from being tensed up. So if you know you're about to have an impact, try hard not to get tensed up, because it will severely reduce the amount of injuries you have in a wreck. That's called cruise. This guy said, I need to get my headlights adjusted and my windshield, my tint problem on my windshield. If you know your headlights suck, then don't outdrive the damn things. Real simple. Don't outdrive your headlights. If they suck, then drive at the speed that your headlights take care of. This is just a road rage incident. He's just mad. This guy's driving like a jackass. This guy decided he wanted to go after him. But a few miles later, I guess you fucked up enough that the cops saw your ass. Because guess what? This shit happens. Reckless driving. You can get them for reckless driving, exhibition of speed. You can get them for speeding. You can get them for endangerment. Endangerment with a vehicle. I'm still trying to figure out where that fool was going, because that is a one-way street. I know where this is. I've been to that town. That is a one-way street. That city. Boom. This one, I can tell you that it's the black car's fault, of course, but I can't tell you necessarily it's inattentive driving, because look at the weather conditions. It could be a sheet of ice and they tried to stop and they just couldn't. Still their fault. You drive according to the conditions. How many times y'all see idiots coming out of parking lots think, oh, I can shoot across, and there's a divider? I used to be a truck driver, saw it all the time. What law did he break? I'm not sure. You know what? Okay, so I can actually answer that question, because that's awesome. In fact, that was Austin PD. I can tell you what's going on in that situation. Okay, because run into it a lot. You're out there looking for somebody. One of the places that I always like to check casino parking lots, fast food restaurant parking lots, Walmart is a good one because there's a lot of cars there and they think they could blend in. And anywhere that there's a lot of vehicles, they'll go. When you're looking for somebody, they'll go park the car over there, thinking they could blend in, not realizing we have your license plate and the make, model, and color of your car. So if I drive in, I'm looking for a black Honda that's got, say, one Adam Charles, Mike 364, and it's on a black Honda. And I drive into a parking lot and I see a bunch of black Hondas, then I run into that license plate, then I'm going to stop. Because it's got to match the car and the license plate number. It happens all the time, folks. That's nothing new. And that's what that situation was. Austin PD was looking for somebody. They come pulling in the parking lot. And just as the cop starts to pull in, they're like, oh, it's time to leave. So let's just put a bullseye on the car for us to take a look at it. Most of y'all would probably say that the truck driver was being the dick in this situation. Is he? It could be. But again, you having a blinker on does not automatically mean you have the right to get into the lane. And nor does it mean that the person has to slow down for you. It's called a courtesy. And when you do that with a semi-truck, your ass is taking a risk that could kill you. That fool just, the hell with it. Stop signs, they're an option. It's like, hey, if it's got a white line painted around the stop sign, it's an option. Which that's fake. Don't. That's shit I used to tell my friends all the time just to fuck with them. Yeah, they can't drive in New Mexico either. This fool over here just, he's heading over again. This is the way he's going back and forth either tells me he's intoxicated or this fool is dozing off behind the wheel. This ain't a texting situation. Fades like that where you're slowly going back and forth like that constant is either intoxication or somebody's falling asleep behind the wheel or having a medical situation. So the guy pulls out. You get one of those Jeeps that gets one of those Jeep drivers that gets mad because you pulled out and slowed him down. Don't you just love those drivers where it's like you got this long gap. You're like, okay, I'm good. I could pull in. And because you didn't take off like you were an NHRA funny car, of course they come up and give you all the dirty looks, the fingers pass you, give you the finger. Yeah, I hate those. They didn't wave apology at you, Chief. They gave you the finger. Wet road on a mountain. Hit a slick spot. Yeah, it's called rain. Oh, we got that. That happens down here in League City and Webster so much. You be sitting there, that lane's a turn lane, you're in the straight lane, and then the fucker in the turn lane just like, oh, I'm in the wrong lane, I'll just gun it. That shit's illegal, folks. Failure to maintain traffic, a signed and signed traffic signals. An arrow on the ground is a traffic signal. I bet y'all didn't know that. The arrow on the ground, the lane you're in, is a traffic signal. You can get hit with failure to obey traffic signal for driving straight in a turn-only lane. I've yet to figure out where the karma is in this one, because I've seen this one before, and it's like, did he do something earlier and they just didn't show the video? Or was it just because the guy went speeding by you on a road? I mean, everybody speeds. Boom, gray SUV at fault. Pulling out in oncoming traffic. Called failure to yield the right of way. This guy, even though this is, I've seen this one before. This is bullshit, dude. It's called a construction site. Sometimes they're not convenient when you're a delivery guy. Trust me. You know. Sometimes it's just you run an inconvenient situation. Ask my friend Raj. Ask my friend Mike. Sometimes it sucks. Boom. Now that dump truck is that he's in the wrong. Even though it's construction zone, you put your car in a construction zone. As a guy who drove a truck for a while, before you begin to back up after you've been sitting there for a minute, you still need to get out and look around. You know, I can't remember what the acronym is for get out and look. Oh, no, it's goal. Get out and look. It's always the goal to be safe. That's why that's the acronym. Goal. Get out and look. I know. I backed into it and fucked up a car in downtown Austin. Luckily enough, it was a barber or a masseuse, and she was chill as all hell about it. Now, technically, not only was he at fault for backing into the car, but he's also at fault for not notifying that he has done that. I can't remember exactly what it's called when you fail to notify somebody that you did that. It's not technically leaving the scene of an accident or crime because they left. Hey, look. Pizza Hut. Customer service. You're number one. I hate that. People all the way in the left lane. Oh, this is my exit. Shit, I should go ahead and say screw everybody's. You ain't got no business honking. You in New York. Nobody in New York yields to anybody coming. You should just slow down as soon as you saw him on the ramp. Believe it or not, that's illegal. What he just did right there was illegal. Okay? Let me explain to you why. It's called utilizing or inappropriate use of vehicle equipment to distract a driver. It is illegal to flash your high beams on and off to either get the attention of the driver in front of you or to let him know you're pissed off. It's actually illegal to do that. So, just giving you a heads up. Because if he does that and the guy gets into a wreck when you do that to him, it's your fault. Just so a friend of mine actually asked me that question. The reason why I know this, a friend of mine came to me one day and said, hey, so I was behind a guy. This guy cuts me off, and I flashed my high beams at him to let him know I was not happy with what he did, and he rear-ended the car in front of him. When the state troopers got there, they wrote me a ticket. And I looked at him and was like, yeah, of course they did. And he's like, but why? I'm not at fault for the guy rear-ending another car. I'm like, actually you are, because it's illegal to do that. So don't do that. It's illegal to do it. If somebody cuts you off, yeah, you're pissed off. Just let it go. Life's too short. Just let it go. If you happen to pass them, flip them the bird if you have to, or scream out a window. But don't use your vehicle equipment to distract the driver in front of you. If they get into an accident, it becomes your fault. Nah, I had a bag full of warm Taco Bell and I wasn't about to let. Oh! Hold on, let's read that for a second. Trying to understand what was going on. While I was driving, I started having engine problems, and when I was about to go around the curve, I lost all engine control in the car, what made me end up going off the road, what ended up deeming my car a total loss, and ended up having minor injuries. Okay, so this is not an uncommon thing when the engine shuts down. If you're running if your car has power steering and the engine shuts off, I don't know if any of y'all ever dealt with that, where suddenly you lose engine power and power steering. And if you don't know how to operate a car without power steering, your ass is going to go wherever the car wants to go until you get it stopped. They have this thing, it's called an emergency brake. It's not for drifting. Regardless of the... Okay. People are like, oh, that's my brake for drifting out here. That's not what it's for. It's in case you have a situation like this, where you've lost power in your car, you don't have the ability to steer, and you need to come to a stop because you're going to get hurt if you don't. Pull up on the emergency brake, or if it's on the floor, hit the emergency brake. It's going to lock the wheels up. Now, don't do this when it's snowing, because then you've literally done nothing. Try to aim for a snowbank if you can. It's your best option. But if you're on a road, just yank it. Eventually, your tires are going to get some traction. They're going to bring you to a stop. That is your best option at that point. Because when the engine shuts down, you lose your power steering, and if God help you, if you're one of those, if you got power brakes, you lost out on your brakes too. You've lost out on your regular brakes. Your e-brake is all you've got left. And cars today, it used to be in the old days, you just slam it in. You could slam it into like park, and yeah, you're probably you're gonna do some damage to your transmission, but it brings the rear wheels to a stop. You don't have that option anymore. You go to do that now, and the car's got enough momentum. It has a slip gear that allows it to keep going, so that doesn't even work. Emergency brakes, they're there for a reason. Use them. Learn your stuff. That's the thing that people don't understand. Learn to use the equipment in your vehicle. It will save your life if used properly. This has been a statement from your Department of Motor Vehicle Safety. Oh, shit. That's not where I needed to go. I accidentally hit the wrong button there. Yep, we were already there. That's the school. That's the guy in the construction zone. There it is. It's in Canada. I'm trying to figure out minor injuries. What, he sprained his arm or something? Because it's not like he went off that hard. Did he hit the pickup? Okay, that wasn't the accident. Okay. I thought I was seeing the truck take that turn, and I didn't see the pickup move. All right, that guy's going. All right, everything is people just trying to occupy the same spot at the same time. That literally was two vehicles trying to occupy the same spot, but the guy that was turning to the left is the one at fault, not the SUV. The reason why I say that is my significant other asked that question. If everybody else is stopped, but then that one guy in a lane by himself is going and you pull through and he hits you, is it his fault? Nope, it's your fault. You have to yield the right of way to the oncoming traffic. Oh!
Yep. Two of them. Yep.
Yeah, people do that all the time. Oh, it just turned red. It's safe. Yeah, that's how people die. All right, so the guy pulled in front, runs a red, brake checks under the speed limit, then makes a scene. What scene did he make? You just hit the brakes. Oh, hopefully this is it. All right, we're going to get out of the car. Oh, it's a Karen. What you done? Why you do that to me? Kiss my ass. No, bitch. That shit's probably got crap crawling on it. Ain't nobody kissing your ass. Get your ass back in that damn car. Stop being an idiot. Let's see what we got here. Somebody's over there stuck crossing the railroad tracks. This guy's like, fuck it, I'm gonna pass him. This dude's gonna fade over. Oh, that's a cop. You know, that was one of the cool cops, because a lot of cops get run off the side like that. They slam on the brakes, get behind you, pull your ass over for changing lanes without a signal, failure to yield the right of way, all kinds of shit. You write them up for like 7 different citations right there. Oh, we went backwards and then went forward. Hey, look, it's called a car cha-cha. First you go forward, then you go back, then you go forward, then you go back, then you go forward, then you go back. Now you're cha-chaing. Da, 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 da. It's called the vehicle cha-cha. Oh, what in the... This dude's smoking crack. Something wrong with that fool. And first of all, you doing that shit in a Geo. Or is that a Kia? Scion? Something. It's one of those pieces of shit, little SUVs. It's like, dude, you keep backing up like that, you're going to break something. This guy's smart. He's just staying back here. He's like, I'll just stay here. Because now I'm going to creep up. We're going to see what happens. We're going to creep up. We're creeping up. We're creeping up. Watch it for the reverse lights. And is he going to do it again? It's like you wonder, why is this dude pissed off? Like, oh, here we go. Boom. We got the reverse lights on. Stay back. Fuck you. That's what I'd say. I'm allowed to pull up. I think this is coming to an end. It's probably going to be the end of the show, too. Yeah, that's the end of it. All right. Anyway, thank you to Dashcam Academy for that wonderful stuff we just watched. I'm glad I wasted a few moments of your time today and not really get into other shit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys had a good night. We will see you guys back here on Monday. All right. Just remember this. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which doesn't leave you much room for error. Everybody out there listening and have a good time. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. For everybody here at the world famous Rich Wilson Studios, I am Rich Wilson. And have yourselves a good night. Hey, Dave. Thank you very much, sir, for your help tonight. You're amazing all week, brother. Can't do this without you. Anyway, folks, have yourselves a good one. For everybody here at the world famous Rich Wilson Show, I'm Rich Wilson, and we're gone. Bye-bye. See ya.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.